This is the Ryder and Lisa Podcast.
Brought to you by Yegg Property Pros. Powered by Real Broker. Get a realtor who knows. Call the pros.
Why do baseball coaches wear the same outfit as the players?
No, the question didn't make sense.
Why? Why do the coaches?
No.
What? Is that not what they're called?
Correct.
What are they called?
Managers.
Get out. It's a coach.
They're the manager.
Okay, why do the managers wear the same outfit as the players as if they're ready to go out there and try and hit a dinger? Like they're ready to step in if there's an injury. Like imagine Chris Knobloch dressed up like an Oiler on the bench. Like visualize that. Or
like full equipment?
You know, like a football coach on the sideline. It would look ridiculous.
Like even I'm trying to think of a basketball coach. Like it's just
arms out, a towel around the neck.
Some of those basketball coaches are in pretty bad shape too. Like just trying to fit into a tank top cut jersey.
It looked like your uncle at your family reunion barbecue.
Yeah, just side boob hanging out. The ratings came out for Pat Sajak's final episode of Wheel of Fortune.
Okay.
And it pulled in over 11 million viewers. That's the show's highest ratings in 4 years.
Don't you think that's frustrating?
That
he's leaving? We should start doing that on our show.
Pretend we're leaving?
Yes.
Great idea.
Just bump those ratings up just a little bit.
Do you remember the hype around Who Wants to Be a Millionaire when it just came out and got super hot?
Oh, yeah.
Like everyone was watching it.
Wasn't it the first episode where the guy called his dad just to tell him he was going to be a millionaire?
No, that was probably a year in.
One of the most iconic TV moments in history.
Hi, Dad.
Hi.
I don't really need your help. I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to win the $1 million. Because the U.S. president appeared on Laughing as Richard Nixon. That's my final answer.
Well, my gosh. What can I say except, Debbie, you're going to Paris, and this is the final answer heard all around the world. He's won $1 million.
If I was older, I would have been so attracted to that man. But I was a child when I watched it. Now, when I see the old footage, I'm like, oh, what a hot nerd. That footage is incredible.
Connor McDavid has transformed into an absolute animal.
Well, he hooks himself up at night.
To like
he's a machine.
Yep.
So he charges at night in a little weird egg booth, a futuristic spaceship.
Like playing out of this world, it's true.
And on game days, they open his fiance Lauren opens it and it goes, and it's like that scene in Austin Powers, and he just rises. He sits up slowly.
Sits up like Undertaker in the casket.
People are complaining about the noodles.
What do you mean?
So there's this woman in particular who's like, I have been buying the same Kraft dinner for 20 plus years. Love it. Which I understand. Also, can we all agree that one box is one serving? Thank you. But she said just had to slide that in there. It's true.
Yeah.
Guilt-free. But she said the noodles, they're falling apart. They're weak.
Oh.
Have you noticed that? It's kind of like just mush.
Do you think that they actually can shave money off by making the noodles a little more thin? I suppose.
Yeah.
Like
shrinkflation.
Do they say it's the same amount of grams in there?
Were there more noodles in the 90s and they've just been shrinking the boxes throughout? No, because she said she's been buying them for 20 years. They've never looked worse.
Has she been just maybe overcooking them?
Yeah, I was just going to say, wait, might have looked shredded like that since the day I learned how to use a stove.
You know what this chat reminds me of?
What?
Did you ever have the elevated Kraft dinner, the next level one, premium or whatever?
Okay, so it would come with the powder, but also a cheesy, squishy.
Yes.
I didn't care for it.
What?
But I've told you this in the past. I'll say it again. My dad is the king of Cheese Whiz. You have to add Cheese Whiz. That's how you get your Kraft dinner next level.
Did you just say, sorry, your dad is the king of Cheese Whiz?
Yeah.
What a title. We're going to be talking about awkward things someone did when you were a guest at their home. Or maybe you were the awkward one. And when you had guests over, you did something like got in a nasty fight with your significant other.
Oh, yeah, maybe you're just shameless and you don't care if there's people in your home. You'll just keep living your life. Either way, we do want to hear from you. What's something strange you or someone else did in your house when you were a guest at their house?
It was always awkward when I had buddies over growing up because my dad would fall asleep on the couch, and his snoring, he'd just like stop breathing for quite a long stretch of time.
So all your friends would be like standing around watching this?
We'd like time it. To like be like, whoa, new record, 26 seconds.
What a
without
spectacle.
breath.
And he had no idea. He was sleeping.
Yeah, it was uncomfortable though to like watch my dad snore with my guests.
I feel like a lot of our listeners will have a hilarious or strange story. So feel free to get at us. Apparently, I did something weird last night when Ryder's friend was in town.
What do you mean, apparently? You know what you did, and it's super weird.
I don't think it was that weird.
Yeah, we'll get into it next.
We're asking you, what is something weird that a guest did in your home, or something when you were a guest at someone else's home that a family member there was doing that you're like, why are you doing this when I'm here?
I had a buddy whose parents would make out, pretty heavy kissing, and it was super weird to see. Like when you're younger, right? You're just like, my parents don't do this in front of people.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So I have a buddy over last night. Haven't seen this guy in a few years. Great friend. Pretty excited to be hanging out with him.
Yeah, you haven't seen him in what? 6 years?
Something like that. All of a sudden I hear right behind us. I'm like, what the hell is happening back there?
Okay, get to it. This is sounding really bad.
Lisa got a new treadmill. It's like one of those, what do you call it? Floor mats or something?
It's a walking pad.
Walking pad. There we go. So it doesn't have handles or anything. So you can't really like see it from couch level, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you just like walked behind us for...
I was listening. I was conversing.
It's just a really strange thing to do, to start exercising when there are guests over. And everybody else is just chilling.
Ryder's like, can you go do that somewhere else? I was like, but then I won't be in on this convo.
I was like, exactly. It's super distracting.
Whatever. I burned 60 calories. Hit us up with your stories. What's something weird that somebody did when you were a guest in their house?
This story is you had guests over that did something weird. What do you got?
5 minutes after they show up or whatever, her friend who's staying with her is like, well, I'm going to go have a nap, and just walks into one of my kids' bedrooms and naps for like 5 hours. And I was like, so my kids are like, well, what do we do? And I was like, I don't know, play in the other room, like, because a couple kids, couple rooms. I was like, go play in the other room. Like, I have no idea. This woman's just sleeping in there. So she finally gets up, she gets ready, she joins the party like nothing happened. Like, never saw her again when she woke up and took off and flew home in the morning or something.
Can you imagine being that comfortable, no matter where you are?
Well, that's exactly it. Like, I know you're friends with my ex, but, like, you don't know me. You just come and sleep in my kid's room. Like, what's going on here?
Awkward guest moves, or an awkward move when you were a guest. I had a buddy over last night, and Lisa decided to get the treadmill out.
It's just like one of those walking pads.
Went for a half an hour walk while we're sitting there talking. It was ridiculous. I respect the hustle.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
No, I understand it was a little strange, but I didn't care. Megan wrote in saying, one time after the bar, a bunch of people came over to my house, and a random girl that we had met just that night came too. She must have been really drunk and hungry because I found her eating my dog's wet food from a Tupperware out of my fridge. Maybe she thought it was stew. Anyway, she just raided it.
Yeah, I'm getting queasy thinking about it. That is nasty. What do you got for us?
I had a friend in high school, and I went to her house daily. And in the mornings or in the evenings, her mom would be wandering around doing her chores, but she would be in her underwear and just her T-shirt.
Didn't care at all.
Nope, she was just going about her business.
I don't know why this matters, but what kind of undies are we talking? Like, is it more awkward if it's like a fancy thong? Probably.
Nah, it was just like granny panties.
Yeah.
Yeah, the classics.
Full butt kind of thing.
It's Slinky, it's Slinky.
And what you gonna do when the Hulkster and his Hulkamaniacs run wild on you?
Ah, yeah, I kill me.
Ryder and Lisa's Nostalgia Off.
Brought to you by Sweet Convenience.
Only on Play 107.
I love the dial-up in the background of that.
Yeah.
Kids these days, they wouldn't understand. Anyway, we make this very easy for you. Ryder and I both have come up with a list of things that should bring you back to simpler times. You just vote on whose list was better in your opinion. Just text in either Ryder or Lisa. Everyone that votes is qualified to pick up a gift certificate to Sweet Convenience.
My first one is flipping through the poster display case while your mom was in the old lady undies section of Zellers.
Ew, and there'd be all those like grimy fingerprints all over them, including your own. Playing Red Rover in elementary and running towards either your crush or the weakest link.
When a new kid started midway through the school year and totally changed the dynamic of the class.
Yes. Sleeping at a friend's house and reading scary stories to read in the dark. Who else remembers that book? And you'd read it right before bed and then be terrified of their basement all night.
Being super confused that a dessert was allowed to be called sex in a pan.
Okay, I remember I went over to a girl's house. Her name was Candace Hill. I was after school and I had never heard of this dish before, and she had it. And she was like, "This is sex in a pan." And I was like, "What?
You're not allowed to say that.
That's a swear word." Thinking your life was ending whenever you got locked in a bathroom stall.
My last one is finishing your last final of the year and walking out of the school like an absolute boss.
Legendary.
Yeah.
The weight lifted off your shoulders.
Oh,
nothing better. And then you
felt
like
the best.
immediately forget everything you learned that year.
Totally.
Trying to think of a fire Hotmail account and settling for something along the lines of Hockey Guy 69 or Sweetie Girl 17.
How'd you get my email address?
You weren't Hotmail at hotmail.com?
No, I was that Sweetie Girl one.
All right, get your vote on right now. Whose list was better? Everyone that votes is qualified.
Let's just blast through them one more time. Flipping through the poster display at Zellers when a new kid started and changed the dynamic of the class. Being super confused that a dessert was allowed to be called sex in a pan. And finishing your last final.
Playing Red Rover in elementary, sleeping at a friend's house and reading scary stories to read in the dark, then being scared all night. Thinking your life was ending when you were locked in a bathroom stall, and trying to come up with an awesome Hotmail account. Bonus points if you text in with how lame yours was.
We all made ridiculous emails when we were young and had to stick with them for far too long. I'm surprised like Hotmail didn't have a like gentle reminder when you signed up that, hey, you're going to use this for the next 30 years. You might want to go with something that's not ridiculous.
They did make it easy for you to make several accounts back then, though.
Right, that's true.
It's just some of these texts are so good. Our favorite was I love Will Smith at hotmail.com. It's just too good. Devilish Princess. There's so many princesses and brats and hockey lovers and island babes rolling in, and you'd have to kind of spell it a little different because the
Somebody
original
else already had like 2 Zs.
Exactly.
How old were you when you came up with yours?
I was 12.
And what'd you go with?
Well, I really loved the Moffat, especially Dave Moffat. My email address was moffatlova@hotmail.com. And that scared me. I used it until like grade 11 of high school.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people on the text line are saying that they still like have that email.
We got this email from somebody who works at a reception desk, and she said the amount of grown men in their 40s that still have 69 in their email addresses is alarming.
That's hilarious.
Talking about the lamest email, or your lame email, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Just all of them are pretty lame that are coming through here.
Well, and it's fascinating to hear from all of these people that work in an industry where you have to talk to people and get their email. And people are shameless.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, yeah, and they'll read you their old Hotmail address that's either inappropriate or just super lame. There was one text we got that was like, oh, I had to call someone back to confirm their email, and it was something along the lines of like sexy yum yum. And he was like a grown man in his 50s.
Yes.
I just love that so much.
This text cracked me up. My email address was wavewarrior100@hotmail.com. I grew up in Melfort, Saskatchewan, not a wave anywhere near me.
I love that. This one here from Trish, me_hungry3000. Alyssa says, mine was a classic #1 hottie at hotmail.com.
Awesome. Just came across a pretty interesting story. 5 years ago, a woman named Annalie Dozier found a vase at a thrift store. She paid $3.99 for it. She said it looked oldish, Thought maybe 30 years old or something.
Okay.
It's kind of like a tourist reproduction thing, she thought. But on a recent trip to Mexico, she noticed that her vase looked a lot like the Mayan artifact she saw in a museum.
Whoa.
So she gets home, sends photos to the authorities, I guess, who confirmed that she was the owner of a priceless Mayan ceremonial urn. And she started to stress out, got really anxious because she has young boys.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I can't be the one that breaks this. Like, it's been around for 2,000 years. I can't let one of my little knob heads knock this thing over and break it. So she got super anxious and like said, can I please get it to you? Like, will you take it from me? And
it broke in transit. The end.
No, it hasn't. But the piece was sent to a Mexican museum, and the ambassador said she recognized that a whole country, a whole culture cares about it.
Wow.
We're deeply in gratitude to her for giving it to us.
I could never find anything good in a thrift store.
Well,
Ever.
If I found something like that, I would never give it to someone. Like, how much you paying, country? Like, you're talking about an entire country. They can afford $5,000 for this thing. I mean, it's kind that she did it.
Gotta take it
and
to
respectful, but
It's all about the Antique Roadshow.
exactly.
Let's go.
Sell that thing.
$1,000. It's Ryder and Lisa's 1K wordplay. Brought to you by Out of Bounds Restaurant.
We are joined by caller 7, James, who's been trying to get through since the start with this contest and finally got her done.
Yes, we're so excited for you, James. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Good.
Here's how the game works for anybody who's checking it out for the first time. James is going to choose a teammate, either Lisa or myself, who will leave the room and not be able to hear round one. We'll give James 5 words. He'll tell us the first word that comes to mind for each. We'll invite his teammate back in. They'll play the same game, and for every answer that matches, it's $25. But if we hit all 5, we jump it to $1,000.
All right, James, who are you sending out of the studio this morning?
I think I have to take you, Lisa. We got the 34-year-old tell us happy.
Oh, I love that. All right.
All right, I'm waiting for her to leave the room, and I will start the timer after I give you the first word, okay?
Yeah.
The first word is gas.
Car.
Rose.
Flower.
Chlorine.
Pool.
Caramel.
Chocolate.
Lamp.
Light.
Man, James, you did very good there. Let's see. I think you could win some serious money here today.
Just two 34-year-olds ready to win some money. All right, let's do this.
Okay. Lisa, what's the first word that comes to mind when I say rose?
Okay. Oh, I'm struggling with this because there's like 2, maybe even 3 words that immediately came to my mind, but I'm going to go with flower. Yes! Oh, I really wanted to say petal. I wanted to say thorn. Like that was... Oh, I'm so happy. $25, James. Let's keep going.
We got it.
Chlorine.
Pool. Yes! $50.
Caramel.
Chocolate. Yes! Woo!
$75.
We're rich. By we, I mean you. Okay, let's make it 100. I'm nervous. My palms are sweating. What about you, James? How you feeling?
I'm nervous too, but we got this.
We got this? Okay. No pressure.
Lamp.
Light. Oh my gosh. I wanted to say shade, but I was like, no, I know what the answer is. I knew the answer. We're at $100. Can we make it 1,000? It's been a while.
Let's
been a while.
do it.
Let's do it.
It has been a while. For $1,000. Lisa, what's the first word that comes to mind when I say gas?
Gas. I really want James to win $1,000. I really do. So
the big boss from out of town just walked by. He doesn't look thrilled that we're going to be giving away $1,000.
Gas. Tank.
Oh, no! Oh, no!
What is it?
Oh!
No! What was it? Drive?
Car.
James, we were so close. But hey, you know what? You picked up $100. Thank you so much for playing.
No wall of shame.
No wall of shame today, baby. Love to see it.
That
You're
was
the
a
best.
really good game, James.
And James, you're such a great sport. We're going to keep you on the phone. We'll be right back with you. To everyone else listening, your next chance to play tomorrow morning at 7:50. Best of luck.
The Ryder and Lisa Podcast.
Brought to you by Yegg Property Pros. Powered by Real Broker. Get a realtor who knows. Call the pros.
Play 107.